Hello everyone, welcome back to another session with me. I'm Sanyukta Saxena and this is the last motif that we drew, right? Hope you are enjoying. Yes, some of you did ask me a question that how do I think about the shape and all. I'm also a henna artist, right? So these shapes are basically a culmination of both my experience of henna and Zentangle patterns. So you can see very clearly they are a fusion of both type of patterns, right? So right now I can just say that you will have to follow me as I draw and create these beautiful shapes, right? But they do have a touch of both henna and Zentangle patterns, right? So let's get started. Today again I'm going to be the Muka shape or the S shape is a very versatile shape. You can use it in a number of different ways, right? So today is again I'm going to use it in one different way. So I am again starting with my pencil, right? Creating a rough framework or string. Again started with the same shape, yeah. And then I'm going to draw a duck kind of, so build a nice tummy, duck's tummy, yeah. And right, I hope you can see it clearly. And then roll it into Marasu, right, like this. So I started with a Muka shape, then brought it down like an S shape, rolled it around just like printums, but I intend to draw Marasu here. And this part is like the duck's wings, right? So I'm going to make this part like this, right? And we'll see if we want to add something here also, right? We may or may not do that. I'm just broadly. So that's the broad shape that we are going to be working on today, right? Right. So once we have done that, again I'm going to start inking right away. So pick up your O1 and start with inking your string because you want the shape to be a highlight. Yeah, so I am going to ink the shape. Yeah, sorry. So I'm going to ink the shape. So I'm drawing in the same sequence in which I drew with the pencil, so you can again follow me as far as the sequence is concerned. Yeah, rotate your tile, don't rotate your hand much. For convenience, put one of your palm of few fingers under the tile so it becomes easy to rotate it. Some of the finer things that I learned from Maria, watching her regularly. Yeah, so that's one part, and then comes the leaf shapes. Nice leafy shapes like this, right? And then probably I will add some stems here and we shall see what do we want to do with them. Either convert it into Vertigo or add some petal leaf shapes, whatever. Yeah, so that's the shape. So let's start right away with Marasu first. So Marasu, double bands, stripes, divide the section, each of the layers into some sections. I'm going to go with the traditional one because, as I keep saying, I like the inking, I like the drama that it will add to my motif. I want that drama, so I will go with the original tangle, Marasu, the way it is. but there are always a number of options to create tangulations. So you can add whole lot of tangles in between each of these sections and skip the inking, right? So that's entirely up to you, whatever you feel like. But since there will not be much of inking in rest of this motif, so I would prefer going with inking my Marasu. Yeah. So created those sections. Preferably the lines should be a little zigzag and not exactly under each other, right? So that would be nice. If you want, you can continue this line and join it here, right? So you can take your Marasu up there like this. Yes. So the next step is to ink, right? So just start inking with a highlight. I'm going to leave a highlight, right? So I'm going to ink like this and take my time, take your time, slowly ink each of the sections, leaving a highlight. So I'm continuing with the process of inking, enjoying the process, slowly inking each of the alternate sections and leaving a highlight while I ink. Or you can alternatively leave the highlight, ink the complete section and highlight later on with your pencil, whichever way you are comfortable, right? So when I am highlighting, you can ink the lower section and then just add some etching at the ends, like thatching, so that the ends are uneven, zigzag. Yeah, so gives a better effect of a shine or a shimmer. Yeah, like that. So again, leave one section, go to the next, ink the lower section completely, and then towards the end just add some hatching, right? Again, lower section, just ink it, right? And then go back to it and extend it a little more with the same stroke, touching. Yeah. So again, moving on to the next. Take your time, there is no hurry. Do it nicely, patiently. Right, so now spaces are small, so you have to be little more careful. And then finally the last one. Yeah, and we are done. So make sure there are no gaps. You can redo the line once more. No harm in that. We'll add that prominence after you have inked. As it is, I will do it later also, so might as well do it right now. Yeah. Right, so done with our Marasu. Right, so once we are done with that, now this section I will go with probably we can add some nice vertigo only, right? I think it will look nice. Or you can also add some overlapping what we say, toodles, right? So entirely up to you, what do you want to go with. I think I would like to go with vertigo, My daughter was actually sitting here with me and she said, Mom, why do you say it is a duck? It looks like a swan. I said, okay. Children. So I'm adding a tangle called Vertigo. So it is another Zentangle original, right? So just go with the flow and add these pointed leaf shapes, cross them, draw behind. They look very nice that way, right? So you have ample space here to draw behind. So do that. Right? You can also insert small little orbs, just like bunzos. They go very well with Vertigo. Right? So small little orbs here and there add to the look of this tangle. So I'm drawing it just like Bronx chair, adding an orb, filling it in but leaving some highlights here and there. Yeah. So take your time, slowly add these nice vertigos on one side. Like this. Yeah. Yeah, looks nice. Probably extend a little here also. So you fill up the gap. Yeah, I think that's fine. Right, so I leave it this portion here and we move on to the next section. So now this section there are a whole lot of tangles that you can choose from, right? So let's pick up a mix of tangles. Let's see, probably I'll start from here. Add some just join it like this, right? Come right here with a tangle called shattuck and then change some tangles, right? Let's see how do we want to go ahead. So what I'll do is join this stem here first thing, right? And then add a tangle called tag, right? So tag starts with these scallop shapes and then the next layer starts like this, right? So that this middle section comes in between the next one. Yeah, that's the catch. Right, again going to the next, the tangle pattern tag, which is another Zentangle original, TAGH, right? So this is the basic grid of the tangle tag, and the only thing I am keeping in mind while I draw layers is to ensure that this section falls in the center of the next row, right? So just slowly draw the layers. So there are a whole lot of tangles again that you can choose from. So this is no hard and fast rule. This is what I feel like doing, right? So I'm going with it. Please feel free to, choose tangles which you feel like. So this bud kind of shape is an integral part of the tangle. The next buds come here in between, right? small wicks, candle wick, I don't know, whatever you want to call. Right? And take your time and patiently do that for all the sections. Simple patterns to draw, simple strokes, just an inverted U or an arc or a dome shape or a C shape, whatever you want to call it. Right? Yeah, and we are done. So this section, it is up to you. If you really think it is looking like a swan, just add an eye. Right? I'm too bad in it. And just add a beak. Right? So you can do that always. Or you want to add some tangle, you can do that. If you want to keep it abstract and not indicating anything, that's absolutely your choice. Right? And then we have this section, so a whole lot of tangles again that you can choose from. Let's go with a tangle called Finery. Right, it is another Zentangle original. Let's see if we can do justice with that tangle here. Right, so I'm just going to, for reference, bring this line down, and see, there is whole lot of tangle. You can also add brace, you can also add jongle, but we already have this prominent what we say, inking there, right? So I don't intend to add more inking, so that's why I'm going with a tangle which suits the space as well as does not involve much of inking, right? Because I've taken care of the inking part. So I thought probably Finery would go, right? So that's broadly how I at least choose my tangles, looking at the spaces, looking at what are the other tangles that I've used, right? So much of it comes with practice, and how many tangles you are comfortable with drawing, how much practice do you have with those tangles, so you start judging which tangle will look nice in a particular space, right? So that's Finery. I have added some boldness to the lines. You can always use your O2, right, and do that exercise with your O2. Again, these small little protrusions, an integral part of your tangle Finery. Yeah. Finery is again a Zentangle original, beautiful tangle, very delicate look, looks lovely. Yeah. You're doing that on both sides of the line. And then finally you just have to add dots, delicate dots. You can always add bigger orbs, you can add rings, whatever. So tangulations, you are open to explore. Please feel free. I'm just going to add dots. I like it that way. Yeah, right, so I have done my Finery, and this section looks a little unattended, left out. I will just add some nice Bronx chairs here. and close that section. You can add anything else, something like moon, crescent moon, moon pies, whatever you feel like, right? I will just go with simple orbs. Yeah, I think we are done, right? So one small thing is one more layer of aura here. Yeah, right. So let's start to shade now. So I'm going to pick up my pencil, Marasu, add shading on both sides. No need to add pencil on the black section. Right, so there are so many ways to use the same tangles, although they are supposed to be abstract in nature, but you can see how they form a beautiful motif and also represent something, right? So tangles are beautiful, just about using them, arranging them in different ways. So keep trying, keep exploring. It is so much easier to work on a smaller paper. Yeah. So again, tag, either you can add shading to each, right, these sections where they are overlapping, or I'm just going to, since it is like a neck, so I'm just going to add graphite on both sides and leave the center white. I think that will look nice as far as this section is concerned. For the finery, it is always added on both sides of the line, and you leave a highlight in the center sections. As far as this is concerned, I will just add some here. Yeah. So let us blend first, right? So let's start blending. So I'm going to first blend the neck portion. Pull the graphite from the edges towards the center. I think you can add some more. Make the edges darker. Soft circular strokes blends better. Yeah. So once we are done with that, now start with the Marasu. As far as Marasu is concerned, just make sure that you don't make the entire section gray. So this white stripe running in between is important, right? So just carefully blend the graphite on both sides without blending too much. Take your time. Concentrate on each section, each stroke. Don't haste up. Give as much time to shading as you do to tangling. It is as much an integral part of the process, right? So once we are done with that, now you can blend this. right? So we can always add some character to this vertigo by thickening one side of the line, right? So add some weight to one side of the line and you will immediately see they are popping up, they have this nice character, they are highlighted, right? So I'm just redoing one of the lines. Choose any one, the upper or the lower, yeah, and just continue. Once you start, just don't break the flow, continue with it. Yeah, enjoy the process. Yeah, takes no time, we are already done, right? Next is to blend the finery. So again, both sides of the line and then these two sides, making sure that there is a highlight like this, yeah. Yeah, yeah, I think that's about it. So the last but not the least, pick up your chalk pencil and highlight the sections that you have left white, the center of the neck, right? You don't need to highlight these because it's already highlighted. If you want, you can add a little chalk on the white section, but it's not actually required. It's white, so that much if you can ensure while you are shading, then it's not actually required. Otherwise you can redo it with your chalk. These white sections of the finery. Yeah, and that's about it. You can always add some shading on one side of this big orb. And you think it's pretty big and it has scope for design also, the way I think, you can always add some nice and beautiful fescues. Yeah, so there's always scope for something. Yeah, I think we are done. Nothing else required. Just brush off the excess with a different Ortolon. Don't use the same. And don't forget to mention your name. And today is 10th of June 22, right? So that's our motif for today. I'll see you once again. Have a good time. Bye bye.